Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you to be an equipped disciple. All right, welcome into another day of your daily devos. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are jumping into Proverbs chapter 7, and good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we are going to take on the entire chapter. So say a prayer for the starlings, and let's go ahead and jump on in. If you'd like to like and comment, subscribe, that'd be super cool. So verse 1 of chapter 7, we're talking about instruction, not destruction. So that's kind of set the tone for what we're talking about. But jumping into verse 1, my son, obey my words and treasure my commands. Keep my commands and live. Guard my instructions as you would the pupil of your eye. Tie them to your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your relative. So first it starts off with obey and treasure and keep and guard. So obey my words, treasure my commands, keep my commands, guard my instructions. So it's very, very clear that there's a lot of action involved with what we are supposed to be doing in regards to the commands and the words and the instructions, because it's going to build us up and keep us safe and strong. And so obey and treasure and keep and guard. Tie them on your fingers. Yeah, have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life, and you got Uncle Billy? Uncle Billy's always trying to remember things, and so he ties strings around his fingers, but then he forgets. He still has the strings on his fingers, but he forgets because he's forgetful, and so you kind of imagine tying the strings around your fingers to remember, to remind yourself of the different rules, instructions, guidelines that have been given to you. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Internalize it, make it a part of who you are. Don't just memorize it in your brain so that you can recite it and tell people all the things, but internalize it so it becomes a part of who you are. We talked about this yesterday, where it becomes part of the filter, part of how you view life. It goes through this filter. So tie them on your fingers. Don't forget. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Internalize it. Let it become a part of who you are. Verse 5, she will keep you from a forbidden woman, a wayward woman with her flattering talk. So this is what all of that keeping and guarding and obeying, and that's what this is going to do for you, is it's going to keep you from the forbidden woman, the wayward woman with her flattering talk. And then let's talk about some of the strategies of this woman. At the window of my house, I looked through my lattice, and I saw among the inexperienced, I noticed among the youths, a young man lacking sense, crossing the street near her corner. He strolled down the road to her house. So just a couple of things. Not sure why my text dropped down so low on that slide, but you'll have to forgive me. Okay, so the first thing that it says is that he was inexperienced. Okay, and inexperience is not, a disqualifier right off the bat, right? Because it's kind of like job applications where, all this experience is required. And you're like, well, if you'll never hire me, how in the world am I supposed to get any experience? And so obviously the inexperienced thing isn't the thing that's the automatic disqualifier here. But moving on to the second one, then we start to see something that we're lacking sense. Okay, well, if you're lacking sense, it sounds like you're not doing some of this stuff, right? If you are lacking sense, you're probably not obeying and treasuring and keeping and guarding. If you choose to do these things, then you won't be that thing, the lacking sense. And then I didn't put it on the slide here, but I just, even as we were just reading it, crossing the street near her corner. You know what I'm talking about when it says corner. So choosing to go near her corner is just tempting fate, right? It's like getting as close to danger as you could possibly get without falling into the pit, right? And then not only that, but he strolled. So just, he wasn't walking with any kind of purpose. He wasn't going anywhere specifically. He was just dawdling. He was lollygagging. He was chilling. And it's okay. There are appropriate times to be chilling, like to just relax. And the whole setup of this guy's approach is like asking to be taken down. So he's lacking sense. He strolled by at twilight, in the evening, in the dark of night. A woman came to meet him dressed like a prostitute, having a hidden agenda. So on one hand, brazenly like dressed a certain way, but then also having a certain hidden agenda about her plans. She's loud and defiant. Her feet do not stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, she lurks at every corner. So it's twilight, it's evening, it's dark of night. Are you getting the hint? Like, nothing good happens past 10 o'clock at night. Some people would say 8:30, nothing good happens past 10 o'clock at night. And so pay attention to the time of day that you are out and about, or that you're going for a stroll, or even your activities online, what you're doing. It's like if we paid attention even to this simple fact, twilight, evening, dark of night, if we were more focused, more intentional about how we are going to approach those time frames, we would do far better, because you can see that these are the opportune moments for the enemy to come in and work his work against your life. Verse 13, she grabs him and kisses him. She brazenly says to him, I've made my fellowship offerings. Today I fulfilled my vows. So I came out to meet you, to search for you, and I've found you. I've spread coverings on my bed, richly colored linens from Egypt. This is straight up ambush. So like here where it says she grabs him and kisses him and brazenly says to him, like it's like a total ambush is kind of the way that the Hebrew reads. And so this is just a reminder that the thief comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And we are in a spiritual battle. We're not in a spiritual ping pong match. We're in a spiritual war. So this is spiritual battle that we are doing. We need to go with a battle mindset, not with a ping pong mindset. I don't know why ping pong was the example today, but you're going in to play a game of ping pong. If you lose, you just, maybe you take a little hit to your pride and somebody else gets the bragging rights. But I mean, did you really lose anything? Not really. But when you lose a battle, when you lose a war, you could lose an arm, you could lose your life, you could lose a lot of stuff, right? And so you want to be careful. You want to come and you want to be vigilant and you want to watch out. So this sets up like a total ambush. And then she tries to sound religious in the way she approaches him, right? Because she's like, hey, I've made my fellowship offerings and today I fulfilled my vows. So she's trying to work in this spiritual vibe with what she's talking about. And so just be careful, y'all. When you're out there and people are talking to you and they're lulling you to sleep because they're convincing you that they're like you in your religious convictions and all that kind of stuff. And so with the ambush, trying to sound religious, and then the flattery, I've been searching for you. I found you. Trying to make you feel all special. Enemy does this when he's coming after us and trying to get us to walk in his ways. He tries to make us feel like we've been singled out in the positive, right? So that, man, I've been looking for you. I've been searching for you. Look, so I came out to meet you, to search for you, and I have found you. But it's not you. It's just whomever I can take down, right? Because we saw from the other verses that I picked the person that was inexperienced. I picked the person that lacked sense. So actually, I picked you because you were acting the fool. I didn't pick you because you're special and good and whatever. So we just need to be so very cautious about falling for the flattery, falling for the seductive nature of the enemy's speech. And it can happen in, the sexual realm of temptation, but it can also happen in almost every other arena of our lives where the enemy will tempt us to value the things of the world more than the things of God. Verse 17, I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us drink deeply until morning. Let's feast on each other's love. My husband isn't home. He went on a long journey. He took a bag of silver with him and will come home at the end of the full moon. So there is no way we're ever going to get caught. Is what she's trying to say, right? So she's trying to convey like the perfect opportunity to do it and to never get caught, and it's totally fine, and we can do whatever we want, and it's not going to hurt anybody, right? The enemy does this to us all the time, where the enemy will try to pull us aside and say, oh, it's no big deal, dude. It's no big deal. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's just you, whatever. Not. And then once you commit the sin, then he's like, oh, you're disgusting. How could you? How dare you? God can't forgive that. That's too big of a deal. So it's like on the temptation side of things, oh, no big deal. It's not going to hurt anybody. On the violation, after you've committed the crime, so to speak, then it's the biggest thing ever. It's whatever serves his purposes best. If he can crush you with the shame afterwards, he will, and if he can make you feel all like it's not that big of a deal so that you'll partake of it, he will. Verse 21, she seduces him with her persistent pleading, and she lures him with her flattering talk. He follows her impulsively like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer bounding toward a trap, until an arrow pierces its liver, like a bird darting into a snare. He doesn't know it will cost him his life. It's one of the worst places to get shot is in the liver, because the liver bleeds so much that you bleed to death like that. Like it is you get something to puncture your liver in some kind of accident. Like there's almost nothing they can do to save you because you bleed out so quickly. And that is an interesting picture for this particular arena of sin. Is that it takes you down, and it takes you down fast. So let's pay attention, okay? Let's pay attention to what the Lord is saying. Let's obey and treasure and keep and guard the words, the instructions. Let's do it. She was persistent. He was impulsive. Bad combo. Bad combo. You need to be persistent in your pursuit of God. You need to be persistent in your pursuit of holiness. Don't be impulsive. Don't be sucked in by the seductive speech of the enemy. And believe me, this is not me, preaching down. This is me like, hey, let's all do this, because I need the encouragement just as anybody else. Now, sons, listen to me. Pay attention to the words from my mouth. Don't let your heart turn aside to her ways. Don't stray onto her paths, for she has brought many down to death. Her victims are countless. Her house is the road to Sheol, descending to the chambers of death. Yikes, right? If you could just put on goggles, some kind of glasses, to see what her place really is, and not the deceptions that the enemy puts on it to kind of lull you to sleep. So the last slide here, listen and pay attention versus turning aside and going astray. Let's be a people that listen and pay attention, and we don't turn aside and go astray. Amen. Let's be vigilant. Let's be aware of the enemy's devices. Let's not fall into his traps. Let's not get shot in the liver, but let's stand up. Let's not be impulsive. Let's be persistent in our pursuit of holiness. So with that, be encouraged today. God is for you. He has made a way for you. He has provided the word, the instruction. Dig deep into the word of God. Blessed is the man that doesn't walk in the counsel of the ungodly, or sits in the seat of the scornful, or stands in the way of sinners, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, in which he meditates day and night. Let's let that be our focus. So with that, a big hearty God bless you. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.